question. I know you must be having institutional memory of the land disputes across the country, but particularly the one in your county where you are now being vetted for. You are aware the boundary dispute between Kericho County and Kisumu County, Sondu in particular. If you are given an opportunity to serve as ECC lands, how do you handle this issue of Sondu Kericho boundary? Thank you.
I think you can include along that the other disputes like the Kanyakwar land issue, the Tekoloa. How do you plan to handle them?
Thank you, Chair. This is not something that is just unique to Kisumu, as Chair, as you have indicated, sir, particularly with the example of Kisumu. We have the Kanyakwar that he has indicated. We also have the Maseno between Vihiga and Kisumu. So those do exist. Now, the National Land Commission ordinarily would handle this nature of disputes, particularly when it relates to what is called historical jurisdictions in terms of boundaries. I would liaise first with the National Land Commission, the two directorates of survey and land information, and also the Directorate of Land Administration and Land Use Planning, to first of all find out what is the status and the position as far as these disputes have been handled, because I am aware, Chair, that these disputes have been handled to some level. With that insight, information, I would then proceed, Chair, first to want to establish these boundaries as they did exist in the time in our pre-colonial or in our olden days, because the boundaries in most cases are not just planned, they are marked and they are surveyed and they are controlled. To ensure that no disputes would arise, Chair, we would look at how then boundaries, international boundaries are managed. And this would be one of the ways of managing these disputes, where we would move on to establish no man's land in terms of buffer zones. Such buffer zones would be planned and prescribed for specific use, and no either side of the jurisdiction would cross such boundaries. In my view, that would be an innovative way of managing the disputes, incessant disputes that we have between Kisumu in Nyando and also in Kanyakwar, and these boundaries that we have in Maseno. And the most important thing that we would go ahead and do in terms of land use within the jurisdiction of the areas that we have established as buffers, I would prescribe the establishment of institutions, like institutions of learning that would bring and incorporate, people from either side of the divide as a way of a marriage in between different communities. Perhaps that would mitigate and lessen this kind of disputes. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. We come to the end of the vetting process. But before we close, I've got two questions. What is your net worth? First question. Your net worth. What is your net worth?
Chair, unless that is explained, network in terms of...
Net worth, how much? What is your value?
Oh, net worth. Okay. Chair, I'll put my net worth at around 19 plus million Kenya shillings.
Looks like you are not sure. Because,
19 plus. It's not 20,
19
it's about
plus,
19 million.
19
million.
plus can be even 10 billion.
No, 19 million.
If assuming that the House gives you nod to proceed as the CEC member for the portfolio you are seeking, 100 days in your office, what do you intend to achieve?
100 days. Chair, one of the things that I would want to do is to interrogate the county spatial plan, which from my inquiry has stalled the county spatial plan, but that is a framework on which budgeting needs to be done by the county. So I would find out at what point the county spatial plan is and aim to complete it. I would also move on to help with the development of action area plans and subject plans for operationalizing the integrated strategic urban development plan for Kisumu. I would want to ensure that that is done within the 100 days. I would also want to move on to put measures in place, a framework for establishing an effective land information system for Kisumu County. And when I talk about an effective land information system, I am aware that Kisumu County has a GIS lab, but I would proceed, Chair, to open up and provide an extension and ensure that we have a web-based GIS lab that would have effective land information system incorporated within it. So that, Chair, we can query at the touch of a button those for whom the license rights would have been given, but we would also open it and have limited and targeted access for the public. So those are the things, in my view, that I would move on to propose. And of course, together with that, I would move on to propose to the County Assembly a framework for land use development control within the peri-urban zones of Kisumu. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Honorable members, we come to the end of this vetting process. Dr. Konyango, as I told you earlier, this appointment committee, we have other information in the questionnaire that is submitted to us. I want to ask the clerk again if there is any memorandum from the public. We do not have any memorandum from the public as at now. But before we release you, I'll give you an opportunity to say something. It could be a comment, it could be a question in 1 minute.
Chair, I want to submit that I have gratitude to this committee. One, I must submit that the committee has been very warm to me, and the vetting has been very interactive. I have learned as much as I have also given, and I am sure any areas, I've picked a few areas that I would also be able, Chair, if given the opportunity through you, your Chair, I would be able to look into now when you give me the opportunities to settle down in the office if I find favor before you that I would put as a priority in office. Otherwise, I'm very grateful, even for the honor to have appeared before you is a privilege and a honor that I don't take for granted. Thank you very much, Chair.
Your approval is based on the resolution by the House. So once the House retreats to do the report, whether they agree with you or not, they will present to the plenary. So the only thing I can say is to wish you the best. But whether they approve you or not, I think you'll still be available for Kisumu County, just like you indicated in your opening remarks. We have given you back your certificates. You can check. I believe all of them are there. And we release you I'm informed that Senator Tam is informing me that there's some tea somewhere. She will guide you as appropriate if you can take the tea. Honorable members, I want to request that you remain behind for like 2 or 3 minutes as the nominee leaves. You are free. Honorable members, ensure that